Hey, it's been about a year since I actually did one of these videos. Um, so I recently had somebody ask me to do a hysterectomy update video, and so this is just gonna be kind of quick. I might try to upload something in the next few weeks, just kind of going over the last year until now. But for now, this is just for my hysterectomy, which I had on like December 17th of 2014. The questions were how it went and how I feel about it, and what was the process that I went through. So it went great, it went as good as it possibly could, and I feel good about it. It's a little weird, um, like having a surgery in which when you get home there's nothing missing on your body. Like I couldn't physically see the same change, so it almost felt like it didn't happen. It still kind of feels like it didn't happen. Like there's just nothing different about my body other than like these tiny little scars. So like it just doesn't feel like it was a big deal. And on top of that, like I think maybe it's just because of how minimally invasive the surgery was. It doesn't feel like it was crazy because I didn't really have to do. I think I was out for the same amount of time from my hysterectomy as I was from top surgery, but it's not like I wasn't on like some crazy bed rest restrictions and stuff like that. So I don't know, it feels good. I don't really notice a difference. It's a relief to know that I will never again have to go see a gynecologist for like regular checkups and stuff. I mean, obviously, if something big happens, but like regular checkups that'll never happen. It's also good to know I can never be pregnant, so that's kind of cool. On the flip side of that, it's kind of weird to know that I can never be pregnant. Like, um, I always wanted kids. Like, I still want kids. But I always thought I would give birth to kids. That was like something I always thought, like since I was a kid, I was just like, oh, I'm gonna have a bunch of babies one day. And then when I decided to transition, I decided that wasn't in the cards for me anymore. Because I knew once I started testosterone, I wasn't gonna want to go off testosterone. So I've kind of known like it's never gonna happen, but it was just such a final decision to make. Um, to remove an organ from your body. That was just such a final decision. So that's kind of weird to think about sometimes when I see like a dad out with his kids. I'm like, oh, like I'll have that one day, but it's not like I'm gonna like produce a child with my body in any way. So it's kind of weird to think about sometimes. But yeah, it feels good. I've lowered my dose a little bit. The first 2 months after my surgery, I started getting really, really oily, lots and lots of acne. Um, and so I actually went down to 3.5 instead of, or 0.35 instead of zero point 0.4 um, milliliters a week. I don't really know I just know where I go on the syringe. So I actually lowered my dose a little bit, and I feel fine. Everything feels great. I think my body is happier now. I don't feel like I'm fighting the estrogen as much. I guess like it used to be at the end of my T cycle, like at the end of the week, I would get really, really tired. I would just like be kind of crabby, and the day would just kind of suck. Like every Thursday just sucked. But now I like wake up. I've missed 2 doses actually since my surgery because I keep forgetting. I'm just like, holy shit, it's Saturday. Like I should do my dose. Um, and I don't know. I think my body just feels better, and I'm not hitting those like super down times. So that's kind of cool. How it went. I healed pretty quickly. After surgery, I was out of work for a month, which was the same as top surgery, but this time, instead of being on bed rest for any period of time, I was not on bed rest. I was just on a very, very low activity level, basically. I was still allowed to like get up and move around and walk and stuff, but I wasn't able to like climb or lift or do anything like that. Um, and as far as pain went, I had like none. Like I didn't feel like I took my pain meds for like maybe a week, and then I just stopped because I didn't need them. Um, like no pain. It was just really, really an easy surgery. I talked to my doctor about it before and after surgery. She kept reminding me like you're gonna feel like you can do things that you're not allowed to do. And the reason is because it's just minimally invasive, even though, like, so I had a laparoscopic hysterectomy, removed my uterus, ovaries, and fallopian tubes. Um, and I mean, basically, the way they did it with like robots and like, cameras inside your body, like, all you have is like 3 points on your body that they actually are going in from. And so rather than like making a huge cut and like taking everything out, it's just like really, really tiny cuts. And because of that, it feels like it's not very invasive, but it's actually a very big surgery. Like, they took a fucking organ out of my body. So I think because it just didn't feel like anything happened. Like, I woke up the next day and was like, did that really happen? Did surgery actually happen, or was I just like imagining it? Like, and even to this day, like, it just like doesn't feel much different. And it's probably because, like, top surgery is such a big deal. It was something that I was looking forward to so much, and like, I was crazy about it for a good year. And so it felt like such a relief to finally have top surgery. My hysterectomy was basically because I knew I wanted it, but it was almost more of a necessity for me, because my family has a history of issues with their uterus, including cancer, and cervical cancer, and just lots and lots of issues with that body part. And I really didn't want to have to deal with that. And I mean, some research suggests that testosterone increases the risk for cervical cancer and all that. So I just wanted to have it done to get it done with and not have to worry about it ever again. So it wasn't as much of like a, oh my God, I want this moment, as much as it was like, okay, cool. So that finally happened. That needed to happen. All right, done. So for right now, I'm sure, I think I'm done with surgeries, unless I get a revision of my chest, which I don't really think, I don't know, I'm pretty happy with it. So yeah, as far as the process goes with it, it was almost exactly the same as the process of getting top surgery. I went for a consultation with the doctor. We set up an appointment for surgery. She submitted information to my insurance. I submitted information to my insurance. They told us whether or not they're going to approve it, which they did approve it. And then we had the surgery. I'm still paying the medical bills, though. It was a little different than top surgery, because top surgery, typically the surgeon's a plastic surgeon, and so they're going to charge you your deductible or whatever's left over from what insurance won't pay. They're going to charge you that up front. Like, you have to pay that right away before they even have the surgery. With this surgery, I stayed in the hospital overnight, so I had hospital bills, and it all totaled around, my last calculation based on like the information I've gotten from my insurance, is it's about $3,000 is what I'm going to be paying out of pocket. Which I've only paid $300 so far out of that, because that's the only bill that's come. So I'm just like waiting for these bills to come to figure out how much I fucking owe. So that's annoying. But the surgery itself, it was so like, I don't know, it was kind of easy. It went by real quick. So from like start to finish, like the day that I showed up at surgery, I showed up at like 5 o'clock in the morning. They put me in this room. They did like my vitals and all that. They had 3 different nurse people come in and do my vitals. And then the house chaplain came in, which, I mean, they do that before surgeries unless you like put something on the outside of your door that says, I don't want a chaplain to come in to pray with me before surgery, which I didn't know about and I didn't really care about. So I was like, I'm not going to it's fine. Like, I'm not going to pray, but that's okay. And so the chaplain comes in, and like on your chart that's outside your door when they come in, it gives a little brief description of the surgery you're having, so that the chaplain knows, like, okay, so this is the surgery that you're having surgery on your heart. Would you like to pray to God? Or whatever. I don't know. But would you like to pray about it? And so she walks in the door, and she like looks at the thing, and she looks up at me, and she looks down at the thing, and she like introduced herself as like, I'm the chaplain today. She looks at my little chart, and she's like, wait, this can't be right. And looks up at me and looks down at my chart, and I was like, no, it's right. It's correct. And then she just kind of like looked down, looked a little mortified, and was like, well, would you want to pray? Like, I was like, no, thank you, but thanks. And she just kind of like slowly backed out of the room and then left. So I totally freaked her the fuck out, which is weird because this doctor that I'm like went and had surgery with is a doctor that is known in the Portland area for having like providing hysterectomies to trans men. Like she's one of the top surgeons in Portland for hysterectomies to trans men. So like it was just weird that this chaplain like had never experienced this before. So that was funny. And then after that, the guy came in to talk to me about like, you know, like anesthesiologists, like shit that they have to tell you. Like basically just like, okay, so this is what's gonna happen. We're gonna do this and that. And it was a lot of waiting for like a few hours. And then they put this little syringe in the side thingy. They actually let me wear my hat almost all the way into surgery. I remember like I had my hat on. They started wheeling me out of the room, and then they put something in the. I'm assuming it's like the knock you out shit. They put that in my IV, and then I started feeling like a tingling in my hand, and then I felt a little like sleepy, and then they took my hat away. And then I remember like they rolled me into the operating room. I kind of remember them like moving me from the like cart thingy bed onto like the surgery bed, and then like everyone was around me moving and talking, and I was just kind of looking around like, what the fuck's going on? And then the next thing I know, I'm waking up at 6 p.m. And the first thing I said was, where's my hat? And so like my roommate gave me my hat back, and I guess what had happened was like, so after surgery they put you in this room. Like I didn't know this is a thing because last time I had surgery it was at like a private office, so it's different. They just let me wake up in the surgery room. But when you have surgery in a hospital, they put you in this room with a bunch of other people who just got out of surgery to kind of like wait until you wake up and stuff like that, just to be monitored. Basically, they're just monitoring your vitals and like making sure you're okay. And I guess they rolled me into that room, and I woke up and I freaked out. I guess I was like trying to sit up and move around to like pull my IV out, and I was like freaking the fuck out. So they put me out again. I don't remember any of this. I just remember I woke up at 6 at night, which was 6 hours post surgery, and felt like I just had the best sleep of my entire life. They gave me some like chicken broth. They checked my vitals. Like they were basically just like, "Are you okay? How you feeling?" But I felt great. Like I just felt like really coherent, which is really weird. Like this happened last surgery too. Like I just felt like, yeah, I'm fine. Like I'm aware of what's going on. We're cool. And the nurse actually remarked about that. Just like, wow, you seem like you're doing okay. And I was like, yeah, I'm just hungry. Can I have some food? But they didn't let me eat solids. Except at like 10 o'clock at night, I made my roommate, who was watching me, like hanging out with me in the room, go get pizza for me to eat. And that was fine. The nurses didn't know. But he brought Mario Kart and plugged it into the TV, and we like played Mario Kart for a little while, and then like I slept again. And then the next day I woke up, they checked my vitals, they made sure that everything was good. I had a catheter, which was really weird. I didn't like that. They didn't do that last time. Like literally after surgery last time, I like got up and I peed, and like that was fine. But they didn't have a catheter, which was really gross and weird. I didn't like the feeling of it. And so they removed that and then made me wait until I could void. They were just basically like, we just need to make sure that you can pee without it. And so like I was fine. My friend brought me home. And then for that first week, even though I wasn't on bed rest, I was concerned about walking my dog. I didn't want to be out. It was winter time. It's like January. I didn't want to be out and maybe slip on ice and like tweak anything because, you know, it was a very sensitive area. So I had a friend who came over every morning and every night to walk my dog, which was nice. And then week 2, I was able to like move around a little bit more and I was doing better. Still wasn't allowed to do anything like physical. And then for the next, 4 weeks, I wasn't allowed to lift, but then I went back to work like, I think it was exactly 4 weeks after surgery, and then for the next 2 weeks I wasn't allowed to lift at work until my doctor gave me the okay to do it, and then after she gave me the okay to do it, I basically went back to normal activity. I still felt really tired for like a month and a half. Like I was allowed to like lift up to 10 pounds, but like even lifting like an 8-pound item and then like walking and setting it down, I'd like have to stand there for a second, and I felt really tired. I think it's just my heart wasn't used to like getting like raised at all because it just stayed at like a very low level for a good month. And it took a few weeks of being a lot like after I had the okay to start lifting and stuff. It took a few weeks of that before my body like got used to me actually moving around more and doing stuff. I kept feeling a little lightheaded a few times, and so I had to kind of like dial it back and chill. But then at my month-and-a-half appointment, she basically like checked everything, told me my sutures were fine, like everything was healing perfectly, and that I could, start lifting more than 10 pounds again. And so I've just been, running and lifting and living life normal again. And that's been about it. I almost forgot to mention something that happened after surgery. Afterwards, there was about a month of spotting, which kind of really sucked, just because I wasn't used to that happening anymore. I haven't actually had a menstrual cycle since about, like 4 months on testosterone, so it's been like a year, almost year and a half, like a year and a half of like not having to deal with that. And so that was a little triggering, but yeah, it was just for about a month, I think. That's about how long it was. I had to wear like a pad just to like make sure I didn't, ruin my underwear. But that wasn't really like, as far as side effects go, like that's not like the biggest deal. I just almost forgot to mention that. And yeah, it just slowly went less and less and less, and it was fine. And that was something the doctor had mentioned was going to happen. I mean, you're healing, there's sutures, there's gonna be blood. So that was about it. Yeah, I guess you'll probably want to see my scars. So I got one little tiny one right here that you can barely even see. I don't know if you can see, if it's the lighting or what. And then one little tiny one right here. And that is it. That is all I have. There's one in my belly button all the way down there, but you can't see it. I was actually really, really concerned about my belly button for like the first month and a half after surgery because it was so swollen, and I was like, my belly button doesn't look like my belly button anymore. Like, I never thought that would be a problem, and I was like really concerned that like my belly button would never look normal again. But it does. It looks fine. And that's pretty much it. Can't really think of anything else about the surgery or like the post-care or anything like that that I can talk about. So I'm going to end it there. I'll probably have a little slideshow after this. I only took a few pictures post-op because I don't know, I didn't really document it very well. Sorry. And I'll have a little slideshow of the post-op pictures after this. Okay.